A perfect Saturday afternoon for some soccer here at Zions Bank Stadium. The visiting New Mexico United taking on the home side, the Real Monarchs. Here in Harriman, Utah, I'm Landon Southwick, my partner for today's match, Tom Hackett. Let's check out the storylines for today's match. And we have to mention this, the Road Warriors of New Mexico. Man alive, having played 12 road games this season. It's going to continue this afternoon and continue throughout the season, it looks to be. Done well so far, 6-3-2 during that time. Monarchs on a 2-game home win streak and playing with a lot of confidence. We'll see if they can continue that home win streak here at Zions Bank Stadium. Head-to-head, New Mexico leads 3-1-0, having won 1 in 2019 and 2 here in 2020. Let's check out the visiting player star to watch. Armando Moreno, 4 goals, 4 assists in 11 games, 2 goals against the Monarchs, 1 as a substitute and 1 as a starter, and multiple USL Team of the Week honors, having gotten an assist this last game against El Paso in the loss, but a beautiful setup for Estrada. Let's check out the home player to watch in Julian Vasquez, the local product, the RSL homegrown. Scored on Wednesday night to open the scoring for the Monarchs. And a nice solo effort, 7 shots, and 1 goal in 2020, and a Mexican youth international. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be back with starting lineups after this. Tonight's match is brought to you by America First Credit Union, the official credit union of the Real Monarchs. By MarketStar. Explore something more at MarketStar. Visit marketstar.com for careers. By Steward Healthcare, the official healthcare provider of the Real Monarchs. Visit stewardutah.org. And by Zions Bank, for banking that helps you tackle every financial challenge. Zions Bank is for you.
We all have needs, hopes, and dreams. Things to do, places to go, and a life to live. And whatever goals you have, America First is here to help you achieve them. We're here to provide the financial tools and services you need to take care of your family, your home, or your business. We're here to help you keep moving forward. Whatever you need for what matters most, we're here to help. America First, federally insured by NCUA.
Hey Justin, Jeanette, what's going on?
Hey DJ, we're just trying to find out ways to keep fans in RSL gear.
And I'm contemplating how to use this F-150 to fight hunger in Utah.
Oh, I got it. Have this sweet RSL neck wrap. And thanks to Ford, you can have one too. All proceeds are going to go to help the Utah Food Bank feed families in need. We're hoping to raise $50,000.
Fashion that fights hunger? Now this is a winning combination. Can I get a high five?
Really?
Nice day for a ride.
Hey, you're Craig Swap.
You know, not everyone sees you when you're on 2 wheels. So stay alert and always keep your eyes on the path ahead.
That's good advice.
See you at the top.
Nice shorts.
You can't always predict what might sneak up and catch you by surprise. If you've been hurt by the carelessness of others, choose the law firm that will go the distance to get you the settlement you deserve. Craig Swap and Associates, one call, that's all.
We're back here live at Zions Bank Stadium. Let's check out the starting lineups for both sides. Starting lineups tonight brought to you by MarketStar. Explore something more at MarketStar. Visit marketstar.com for careers.
We'll start with New Mexico United. Mazel in goal, 3 back with Yearwood, Ryden, and Tete. The 4 in the midfield, Suggs, the captain on the left-hand side. Guzman, Tenari in the middle with Nahem on the right. Moreno, the man in form. Devon Sandoval up top. Chris Weehan on the left flank.
Now let's check out the starters for Hamas and Olave and the Real Monarchs.
An unchanged lineup from midweek, surprisingly. David Ochoa in goal. Powder, Mobeg, Jimenez, and Brody across the back line. The captain, Blake, in the heart of the midfield with Arriaga and Brown to his left and right, respectively. Harris, Coffey, and Vasquez, your top three for the Monarchs.
So we're almost ready to get underway here between these two sides. The black and yellow looking slick in their kits. You gotta love both sides have pretty stark contrast kits. The United Soccer League and all 35 championship clubs and its players stand together in support of diversity, inclusivity, equality, and compassion. Please join us for 15 seconds of silence as we are all united against racism.
Well, this should be a fun one, Landon. I'm excited for it. It's been a few weeks since I've been in the booth with yours truly, yourself, and I think this is going to be a cracking game, to be frank.
And you know, the interesting thing is, not many times during a season do you as a broadcaster on a home side get to see a team more than 2 times. Tonight, we're going to see number 3 between these two sides, and coming up in the end of September, we're going to see number 4. So it's kind of fun to get to know these guys, get to know players in a different standpoint, and not as much just the home team.
There are a few different storylines also worth noting as play gets underway here at the Zebra on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. Obviously, the Monarchs played midweek. New Mexico haven't played for 7 days.
Played midweek as well.
Oh, they did play midweek. I do apologize. And then, but of course, I guess maybe the biggest storyline would be New Mexico are yet to play a home game.
Go again!
And I think that's the biggest part to this whole sequence. As Ryden lets it go up over top, he has to track back quickly to get in front of Julian Vasquez. You have to talk about the guys like Moreno having been in just peak form in the last month. A beautiful assist last week, getting around the center back of El Paso and putting him in a position to get his team on the board. Little bit of a different lineup for New Mexico tonight, but they're very capable of adjusting players in and out, and I think that's really the key to this roster. There's quality on the bench and guys that are capable of coming in and making differences, or guys that are capable of changing the game on the pitch.
They got a number of fast players. I mean, so do the Monarchs. It's just, you feel as though you look at the record for New Mexico without playing a game at home, 6-3-2. Although they are coming off a loss, the Monarchs are on a 2-game win streak. But not playing at home to be 6-3-2 is rather impressive. I mean, if Moreno's not firing, which he has been fortunately for them the last handful of games, they've got Chris Wehan, who's a former MLS player with San Jose. He was in some peak form a couple of weeks ago. Devin Sandoval is somebody that's been doing this for so long now that you just can't write him off. And from an attacking standpoint, they've got weapons that the Monarchs need to be incredibly cautious of.
But I think something you have to talk about is we're going to see a foul called and a quick restart. I think that one's going to be pulled back as our center referee is going to say, wait for the whistle. But one of the things, and I have to go back and say this, correction, Tom, you were right. Last Saturday was the game, not midweek.
Okay, good. That's okay.
I don't know why that went through my head, but on Saturday, and that was their first defeat to El Paso in that rivalry, and kind of a tough tough loss for the side as they've been playing fairly well. One of the things I was going to say is the Monarchs really have found their confidence here at home. 2-game win streak at home, and they just feel like they look like they feel good right now. And it's one of those look good, feel good, play good mentalities that this side has right now.
Well, you know, we would go back a few weeks when they weren't playing their best brand of football. Almost ad nauseum about, link-up play and chemistry, specifically in that attacking third. They didn't seem to have it in the last 2 games in particular, coming off 2 victories. They've really done a nice job of getting each other involved.
Hey.
And
Put it down, play again.
it's going to be a foul. He put 2 hands into his back.
Still there.
Ball inside the box, and Ochoa is going to let it cross the end line, and it'll be a corner kick, and the first corner kick of the evening for New Mexico. Ochoa looked a little tentative in that situation. I think it was because last game on Wednesday night gave up a goal on a misjudged ball on the turf. So we're going to see Weehan serve up the first corner kick here in the 4th minutes.
It does seem like the wind is swirling as well. Maybe that adds something.
You can go higher too, Yerzy.
Weehan, ball driven in, headed right towards goal by Sandoval, but just wide.
Turn it face! Face!
So it'll be a goal kick for the Monarchs. David Ochoa making his third start for the Monarchs, second straight start. Played once before the reset against San Antonio FC. Playing tonight for the second straight game, coming back from injury. Be shocked if he was with this side much longer than through the end of the next week.
Yet to have a clean sheet to his name, old David Ochoa, and he's way too classy, way too skilled to not have that happen. So he'll be looking to garnish his first clean sheet this afternoon. Mizell, on the other hand, has 3 clean sheets to his name, and he's in all blue. You were telling me something about him being in all blue, Landon.
Gato Azul.
It's his nickname.
Good in the all blue. You got kind of a classy look. Monarchs wearing their all blue kits, slightly different color shade with the yellow trim down the side. Be a throw in for the Monarchs. So you're checking out head coach Troy Lassane in his second season. Last season, 11, 10, and 13. Finished 10th in the West. Made the play-in game and also a quarterfinal rounds in the Open Cup. Heck of a coach and done a phenomenal job with this side, especially with them being on the road so much. And that's one of the things I think you just have to point out. That takes a lot for a coach to get guys prepared to play week in and week out on the road.
Yeah, that's incredibly difficult. They've been able to
Ari's going to go down and a foul will be called.
Handle all the road games seamlessly, which is credit to New Mexico. Still atop the standings.
Done a good job and looked great. I mean, the truth is this side is a side that's well put together, well coached, obviously, and things have been going their way. I mean, except for being able to play at home, it really does feel like for the most part this team has been able to do that. Ball's played forward. Sandoval and Jimenez battle.
Still there! It's still there!
Noah Powder. Beautiful.
Get here, one. Get here!
Goal.
Get here! No fouls! No fouls! Good up ball. Play! Play again! Play again! Play again!
Guzman does a good job.
Excellent. Play!
Pull it off the feet of Ariaka.
Take your space! Take your space!
Yearwood at the midfield stripe, playing the ball forward, looking to Sandoval. Headed away. Ball inside the box! And Moreno just wide. You've got to love Mr. Johnny on the spot right there. Almost put himself in a situation to score the game winner.
Turn, Mondo, turn!
Well, it's a great ball from Najem, and Moreno goes with the outside of the toe, the right toe, and boy, he comes within a foot of finding that back post. He is a special, special player. Wears the number 10 for a reason. Has the shiny whites on because he is worth every price of admission. And he nearly showed us exactly why. He's another player. Oh,
Time! Another run in the corner. Moberg's in front of him. Picks up his head looking for a ball inside the box. He'll play it out. Heavy touch there by Guzman, trying to redirect it. So you're getting a look there at James and Alave, head coach for the Monarchs. Led the side to the 2019 USL Championship.
Extend now, extend! Extend!
Victory in that game. Out wide to Andrew Brody.
Yeah, we're there!
Kind of takes a misstep there.
Hey!
it seems as though the touches from both teams at the minute is just slightly off.
And one of those things that you'll kind of see is the foul was called. So you're seeing our referees for tonight. Eric Osmanovic, Bennett Savage, Carson Gilwell, and Jordan Downs is our fourth official. Center referees ref 5 games this season, 16 yellow cards, 1 red, and 3 PKs this season. Last 2 games he ref this season, both had PKs. Throughout his career, 49 games, 165 yellows, balls inside the box. 5 reds and 20 PKs.
That's a lot of numbers.
40% of the time calling a penalty kick. But
Yeah, that's
something to keep an eye on tonight. I mean, having called 2 PKs in the last 2 games, might want to just had to put that out there.
Just put the whistle away.
Playoff pushes on. Join us Wednesday, September 16th, right here at Zions Bank Stadium for a USL clash with the Timbers 2. Tickets are limited, so call 844-REAL-TICKS or visit realmonarchs.com now. Settled by Brody, playing it off Sandoval, and it'll be a throw-in for the Monarchs.
Congratulations to Andrew Brody. He's playing his 100th USL match today.
Wow. A big number for him. Congratulations to Brody.
Are you surprised at all, Landon? Unchanged lineup from midweek?
I think the confidence was flowing. I mean, I think the only thing you'd have to worry about is legs. Have to wonder about, but the Monarchs have looked fairly efficient with this squad out on the pitch. Vasquez out wide with the left foot, gonna put it inside the box awkwardly. I think Yearwood wasn't sure where Mizell was. Mizell seemed to be calling for it. Yearwood plays it out. It'll be a throw-in for the Monarchs.
It's always better to be safer than sorry, of course, but nice little build-up there. Blake to Vasquez out wide, and no real threat in the end, but Yearwood decides to take care of business himself.
It's a big throw-in coming from Moberg, and one of the things that New Mexico United have struggled with is set pieces. We'll see if they can deal with this long throw-in from Moberg. Ball inside the box, headed away by Ryden, and Weehan will chase it down. Weehan takes a deflection. Andrew Brody collects. Trying to find Arriaga. Blake's gonna go forward and it's kind of ping-ponging around. Job by Andrew Brody to track back. You know, one of the keys to this game is really gonna be what team can strike first. I mean, to quote Cobra Kai, strike first, strike hard, no mercy. And I think that's what's gonna have to happen for both these sides today. Who can find the game-opening goal?
Well, I mentioned the wind earlier. I do believe that's having an impact on the way that ball is moving around the pitch. Players are having a difficult time judging. And so, you know, those long throw-ins from Moberg, or we saw the corner kick in which Sandoval got on the end of and was unfortunate not to head the ball on target. I think, you know, crosses are going to be incredibly difficult to judge and potentially an avenue for both teams to score.
Moberg to Powder. Back to Ochoa. And Ochoa's going to play it high and forward, and frustration from him as he put that one up into the seats. Miss hit that. Not a lot of games left in this season for both sides. Monarchs have 3 home games, 2 away games. And then today, left on the season, 5 games, including tonight, left for New Mexico. Andrew Brody towards Jimenez. Jack Blake will try to keep it in, but will go out for a throw-in. RSL returns to the Riots Saturday, September 19th to face Vancouver Whitecaps for Firefighter Appreciation Night presented by Ford. Get your tickets now on rsl.com.
Come on, Mado. Yeah, Jeff. Yeah, Jeff. Yeah, Jeff. Good. Good.
It's been a rather interesting opening 13 minutes, I think. Yeah, very little action, a few moments, specifically for New Mexico, Landon, that they've looked somewhat dangerous. Real Monarchs, I should say, are just trying to play themselves into this one, it seems. And I think keeping the ball on the deck is something that they're going to look to try and utilize more. The ball's been bouncing, and with wind and the turf, it's just that it's so difficult for any player, no matter the class, to try and control that football. So
I kept thinking this afternoon would be a high noon shootout, that we'd see a lot of action. I think we probably still have a chance to see that as we're only 13 minutes in. Ball goes in to Vasquez. He's inside the box. Looks like he'll play it off for a corner kick, the first of the evening or afternoon for the Monarchs. Both teams with 1 corner kick so far. Jack Blake will step out to take this corner kick for the Monarchs. 14th minute of play.
And these are the opportunities I personally believe both teams, Monarchs and New Mexico, could potentially have an advantage as Blake swings it in.
Short corner to Vasquez. Ball played in. Second ball inside the box. Still inside the area. And it'll be cleared by New Mexico. And you kind of saw something there. The zonal marking almost came back to bite New Mexico. Ball's wide. Sandoval got his head up. And he's wide of Jack Blake as he'll track over to him. Blake does a good job to make sure the cross doesn't come in as he made a 80-yard run.
And these are the type of chances I'm talking about. How nobody got, there was a slight flick from Sam Brown. No, it just wasn't quite enough. It was caught in that awkward in-between area. But both corners so far have created some pretty good chances for both teams. And that wind is problematic for defenders. David Ochoa gobbles that one up.
And you have to wonder, I mean, you could see that zonal marking.
Right.
New Mexico got burned in their last game on Saturday against El Paso from that marking, as there was a goal on the back post, as Kyle Coffey will collect. He's got Harris streaking forward, but elects to not go to him. Blake wide to Brody. Brody back from loan in Austria. He played for FC Pinsgau Saalfelden. Had a successful run there.
Division 3 Austria.
Division 3 in Austria. Fan-owned club.
There you go.
Kind of a fun situation and a fun idea.
Beautiful setting out there,
Oh,
too.
incredible. Boberg's ball up over top will trickle back to Mizell. 16th minute of play. Ryden, the former Monarch. Fan favorite around here. A lot of people were frustrated when he took off. It's going to fall almost kindly to Moreno. Moreno shots and blocked by Ochoa. As I think Moreno thought he was off that whole time and kind of didn't continue his run.
Yeah,
he was able to crack it on goal still.
Either that or he thought David Ochoa was going to come off his line and didn't.
Other ball in the box. Over the head of Dayon Harris.
Higher rush.
University of Connecticut product.
I think when we talk about David Ochoa, it is worth noting from a shot-stopping ability, you know, he may be the best goalkeeper within the entire organization. You know, Zach McMath and Andrew Putner right now fighting it out for first-team goalkeeper spot. But David Ochoa lurking in the corner. He has a potential to be the long-time goalkeeper for Real Salt Lake if he takes care of business. But the one concern would be
Right now.
knowing when to come off your line. There was no reason he stayed back there. He would have been able to get to that ball with plenty of time to spare.
And I think one of the things that I always think about him is he's confident in his shot-stopping ability. And that sometimes almost displays an arrogance about it. I mean, he's known to have blown kisses and to take his sweet time. He always has that kind of
cheeky smile.
Yeah, cheeky smile on there.
I mean, he is as talented as they come. And granted, still very young. You know, let's make no mistake there. So he's still got a lot to learn. He's by no means, you know, a finished product. But he needs to work with the goalkeeper's coach and try and figure out how to best judge when the right time is to come off your line.
Ball forward, nice combination there for the Monarchs. Coffey can turn. Coffey picks up his head. Out wide to Arriaga. Arriaga towards Jack Blake. Blake can shoot it from here. Blake's shot is deflected. As a nice job defensively by United to get in front of his shot.
And over the last couple games, that's what the Monarchs have been really, like, this sort of link-up play is where the Monarchs have really made their money as of late. And credit to them as Moreno's on his bike, and this could be dangerous.
Boberg and Moreno. Moreno shot into the waiting basket of Ochoa. And you can see Boberg looks like he's limbering a little bit. I don't know that run looked completely clean from him, and I don't know if there was just frustration, but Moreno almost found himself back behind the defense of the Monarchs.
Well, he was certainly trying to move his arms as fast as his legs would tick, but it wasn't quite happening for him.
Well, and you've got to love the typical work rate from James Moberg. He's a guy that's just an iron horse, a guy that always is putting in the work. Has been a mainstay in this starting lineup for the Monarchs throughout his career here.
It's okay. Next one. Keep the next one. Keep the next one, man.
We have throw-in coming for the Monarchs. It almost was one bit of beautiful combination there for the Monarchs as everything was kind of linking up, and then it turned into that quick counterattack.
Right, well, they didn't force the ball forward. They actually played it back and then catapulted forward, and it worked out for them. Jack Blake obviously finding acres of room in the heart of midfield, and they were unfortunate not to get a shot on target there. Jack Blake leads the team in chances created with 17, and so he's the guy for the Monarchs that if they're going to get going, he's going to have a big part to play in that midfield role.
Great step there by Jimenez. He's going to push it wide to Julian Vasquez. Vasquez, local product, RSL homegrown.
Nothing in the middle for him to work with, so again, plays
Finds
it
Blake.
back.
Blake thinks about the shot, finds it to Noah Powder, out wide to Julian Vasquez. Gonna dance, goes towards the touchline, gets around Yearwood for a second, or Najem, excuse me. And he'll win the second corner kick of the afternoon.
Well, that's exciting. You get Vasquez one-on-one and let the man attack. Generally speaking, good things are going to happen for the Monarchs, and corner kick, certainly not the end of the world if it transpires to kind of what we've seen over the past 2 or 3 corner kicks so far.
So you can notice that zonal marking right along the 6 from New Mexico United, and a lot of blue shirts just above the PK spots. You have to wonder if the Monarchs try to expose with another short corner.
I've never understood zonal marking, to be quite frank. With all the movement that takes place, it's incredibly difficult to pick up all the runners.
No foul, one. Good.
Blake still with it. SB. He's going to go down, as our center referee is going to say there was a forearm extended into him, and he'll win what is going to be essentially a short corner for the Monarchs.
Another corner kick for the Monarchs, basically. I just never understood zonal marking, Landon.
And it's one of those things that, I mean, you saw the reason it's done. Sandoval cleared that first one cleanly. But one of the challenges that it can present is once the confusion starts to happen, if teams decide to take a short corner, it causes that combination where stuff's starting to move and guys aren't tracking with players, whereas if you were man marking, you'd have a player that you kind of try to stay with. Ball inside the box. And we're going to see it retaken. Monarchs had a decent look at it as Moberg and Jimenez.
But you see the Monarchs right now, when the picture allows you guys to see, you know, they're all around the penalty spot, if not just behind it. And as Blake puts his hand up and approaches the football, they're all going to make movements towards where the line of New Mexico currently is. And that creates so much confusion. Oh, his Powder
into Jimenez. And Jimenez found himself in a perfect spot to head it towards goal.
My point
unable
exactly.
to redirect it.
That's an unmarked header from Jimenez. And they've had plenty of chances from crosses, have the Monarchs.
Tune in to KMYU later tonight as RSL faces Rocky Mountain rivals, the Colorado Rapids, presented by LifeVantage at 7 p.m. And again next Saturday night, September 19th at 7:30 p.m. to catch RSL against the Vancouver Whitecaps for Firefighter Appreciation Night, presented by Ford. Sam Brown scored his first professional goal on Wednesday night.
That's always exciting, isn't it? Not that I would know, but that must be really exciting.
Jimenez is going to call for the foul, and he'll be shown yellow as he got the ball stuck under the skids, under the wheels. As he'll see yellow here in the 22nd minute, and something to keep an eye on. So we'll take a replay look at that sequence of events. Just got away from him.
I just threw Devin Sandoval's head into the turf while he was had. That was friendly of him, wasn't it?
A good free kick opportunity here from New Mexico United. Weehan's going to stand over one-man wall. Dayon Harris will stand in the wall. Monarchs going to hold their line just inside the 18. Keep an eye on Kalen Ryden, marked by Andrew Brody. Two former teammates.
New Mexico scored from a free kick about this distance on the other side of the pitch last time these two teams met.
Ryden towards the area, but Ochoa comes up with the ball.
It wasn't a bad delivery, to be honest. It's just there were no runners there for Weehan to connect with. Very dangerous, just in front of Ochoa.
Gotta love the service of Noah Powder. He seems to be that guy that is just playing with his own swagger. And recently, he just seems to have it. And he's one of those guys that I know a lot of people are wondering, when's his opportunity coming for Real Salt Lake as an outside back. Very young player, having won 2 USL championships, one with the Red Bulls too, and one with the Monarchs.
When you look at the first team as well, it's worth noting Donny Toya is kind of the mainstay at left back. He doesn't have a ton of competition. Alvin Jones, if I'm not mistaken, is somebody that he's competing with. But if Noah Powder does get the opportunity, you'd imagine he'd fight for playing time with Donny Toya, who has done a good job in the role. But Noah Powder's got his own.
Suggs doing a good job to win the opportunity there. Moreno bikes it. Just playing with confidence. You gotta love the trickery and the ideas there by Moreno as that one's gonna take a hop right towards Julian Vasquez. Vasquez will size up the defense. Ball in front of him, trying to wait for an opportunity. Looked like he tried to meg him there.
Again, it was smart from Vasquez. As a striker, you always want to attack, especially when you find yourself one-on-one with any defender. But he realized even if he had beaten Tete, there was nothing he could do. He would have had to beat 2 or 3 more yellow shirts and probably find himself in some trouble. So nice work holding the ball up and
Andrew Brody, nice little chop there. It's back to Blake, out wide to Harris. Harris is going to go at Suggs. Plays it in, takes a deflection off Suggs, and it'll be a corner kick for the Monarchs.
Harris is somebody that can certainly get going when his mojo is on. He's been quiet so far through 26.
And really his key is serving the ball up. 3 assists on the season in his rookie year here in the USL Championship.
Tied with Powder on 3 assists, so both to lead the team, which is impressive.
Both guys that have wheels and are great at serving the ball inside the box.
I think when you look at the Monarchs as well, you look at some of the stat leaders, if you're into that, it's very widely spread. They've got a number of players that can do damage, which is both good and bad, I guess.
Powder, left-footed ball inside the box, headed away, and a foul is going to be called as Moberg was down, asking why the foul's called on him.
Well, it's interesting. I wonder if we can see a replay. Maybe we can't, but Tete was on top of Moberg, and somehow Moberg was called for the foul. But again, I didn't see it, so maybe I shouldn't comment.
Mizell will take the reset for New Mexico.
It's become rather apparent, quickly landed, I do apologize for cutting you off, that the corner kick method, or just deliveries through the air into the box, is kind of how the Monarchs are going to try and do some damage this afternoon. On the other side of things, New Mexico are looking for Weehan, to no surprise really, Weehan and Moreno on the outside.
And Moreno has been the one so far to look really effective.
Certainly. What a great ball that is.
All out wide to Harris. Harris looking towards Vasquez. He'll finally play it. It looked like it was a little awkward ball there as Mizell was kind of caught in that no man's land, kind of outside of his 6-yard box.
Josh Suggs just trapped the ball at ease. Very impressive. Controlled that one, saved his team from a Monarchs throw-in.
Josh Suggs, one of the big veterans in the USL Championship. Foul's going to be called on Tenari. Frustration from the bench. Josh Suggs, 2nd all-time in minutes played in the USL Championship. He's been a guy that's been very consistent, a mainstay in the USL. Harris slips. Ball will be played forward. Jimenez will track down, looking over his shoulder, no one there. Play it back to Ochoa. The Monarchs will reset. Ochoa, perfectly weighted ball there. United's going to try to push the ball forward. Moberg, nice little slide there through Moreno. Arriaga running at the defense. Out wide to Vasquez. Vasquez wanted it forward. He waits for the ball to come in, puts it inside the box. And if he could have got that a little deeper, falls to Dayon Harris. But cleared away nicely by Austin Yearwood.
I'm telling you, those deliveries are going to pay off eventually. Something's going to happen. And Arriaga and Vasquez and even Blake, they're finding these pockets of space, you know, in the heart of the midfield and attacking New Mexico's defense, which is very problematic for Troy Lesane and his New Mexico United squad.
And if you're on the opposite side, something you have to continue doing for New Mexico is getting the ball to Moreno. Moreno seems to be confident, and everything seems to be in his wheelhouse of opportunities, or willing to try. I mean, he tried a little bit of a bicycle kick a little bit earlier, flicking towards goal. As Powder weaving through the defense, cut off by Tated. Sam Brown. Moberg. Nice challenge there by Moberg. Jack Blake's going to be fouled, and Tenari is going to be shown yellow. It's a silly yellow by Andrew Tenari, and Guzman's pleading the case, don't show him yellow. But he has to show him yellow there in a situation like that. It kind of already set the precedence. And one of the things that you see when a ref gives that first yellow card, oftentimes that's the start of no more warnings.
Yes. Well, it's foolish on Tenari's part. Look, he knew he gave the foul away. He didn't get any of the football, and then out of frustration kicks it away. It's just the sort of yellow that Troy Lesane must be so frustrated with, because Tenari's somebody that he relies on heavily in the midfield, and for him to be playing on yellow for the remaining hour.
Lesane is frustrated with the fourth official and the center referee and wants to have a conversation about why the free kick is another 5 yards in front of where the foul
Well, I can tell
happens.
you why he's so frustrated. He's frustrated with Tenari, and then that frustration boils over with Blake pushing the football forward. It's just a combination of everything.
Jack Blake will stand over the free kick. New Mexico holding their line just outside the 18. Moberg looking very back post, as you've got Jimenez up there as well. Jack Blake, both hands up. Service coming, driven ball looking back, stick towards Moberg, and it'll go out for a throw-in. Looks like it'll be another long throw-in coming from James Moberg.
That's a great ball from Blake. It's dangerous, it's flat, into the wind. If you look at the corner flags, they are, I mean, they're howling a fair bit. The one on our side, down by the Monarchs goal, isn't, but all the others, they're blowing.
Moberg gets it back, puts it inside the area. Stopped by Tenari, getting it towards Weehan. Monarchs trying to settle. Jimenez comes together. Moberg trying to track back. Jem picks up his head. Moreno's in an offside position.
Good, guys. That's great. Najee, smart.
That's smart from Jem. He had some runners, and he decided he wasn't going to try and press the issue, maintain possession, and now they can build. Where's Devin Sandoval? That's my question. The big fella, big number 9. He was vacant last time these two teams met, and he really hasn't done much this afternoon. And in those blue boots and with that running style, you'd hope he'd pop up a bit more, wouldn't you?
3 goals, 1 assist on the season. 1 goal coming on Saturday against El Paso as he scored a PK.
But that's my question, though. How many of his 3 goals are from the penalty spot? I think maybe at least 2.
Double check that. We'll look into that. Ball forward, Devin touching the ball. Don't miss a minute of the action in 2020. Sign up today and get alerts all year long by following your club on ESPN.com. Search for the Monarchs or New Mexico United and click the follow button to keep up with the latest news and scores. Plus, get reminders on the next match. Go to ESPN.com now and click follow for your club. Coffey's got to be careful there. He's going to be called for the foul. But an area that you're willing to probably give up a foul is we're going to see a hydration break here in the 34th minute of play.
And I should note, I don't intend on offending Devin Sandoval. He's a very classy player. He's been doing it for quite some time, but he just hasn't had the same impact that New Mexico fans are used to him having. So Troy Lesane would be hopeful. Here he is, I guess he did pop up once through that first half an hour. An open header, pushed it just wide left. And then Moreno, this has got to be the best chance of the match so far. Moreno with the toe of his right foot. And here he is again. Look, that's the shot-stopping ability of David Ochoa. Why David Ochoa, speaking of who, doesn't come off his line here bewilders me, but he's up to the challenge of that Moreno shot. And this is where the Monarchs have been most dangerous. Balls being played into the area, flick from Sam Brown to no avail, but a very dangerous ball nonetheless. Had New Mexico caught on their heels for a split second. Is this a highlight package or is this Moreno's highlight tape? I do have to question as he pops up again. He's really been the dominant force in the attacking third for New Mexico, as the bicycle kick was an easy save there.
You're correct,
David Ochoa.
Tom. 2 out of 3 goals for Devin Sandoval coming from the PK spot this season.
And oh, no, you go, sorry.
All the USL's elite pre-professional platform, USL Academy, allows clubs across the USL to build a pathway to pro soccer by bringing together top local talent. Following the success of the first Academy Cup events, clubs can now apply to participate in the USL Academy League, kicking off in spring of 2021. For more information, visit USL-Academy.com or search #USL Academy on social media.
Devin Sandoval, quickly, I was going to say, 2 of the 3 goals he scored from the penalty spot. He's the type of player that's probably not going to score an abundance of goals, but he's certainly an impactful player for New Mexico. And you'd like, with his big-bodied frame, you'd like him to have his back to the goal, holding up the play, top of the area, trying to feed the likes of Moreno and Weehan in. Last time these two teams met, he really didn't do a ton. And so far, through the first 36-odd minutes here, he hasn't had many touches. All of his touches are so deep. He needs to find a way to...
But he is very capable of the hold-up play like you talked about.
Right.
I think that's one of the things that oftentimes is seen as his biggest strength. You know he made a living coming on as a sub late for RSL during his time here in Salt Lake City doing that.
Right, and granted, the hold-up play can frequently go unnoticed.
He's got a strong body and a big frame.
He's been doing it for so long now. There's a reason for it.
Ball wide to Julian Vasquez. No one inside the box. He's going to have to slow up play. Ryden's in front of him. Ball played in towards Coffee, and Coffee tries to absorb the pressure.
Come on, Coffee! Come on, Coffee! Come on, come on, come on!
Nothing in front of him, and it will be a throw-in for Njem. Big afternoon for the RSL organization as Weehan finds himself maybe like 10 yards offside.
Yeah, he's offside by about a Walmart Supercenter, I think.
That run was bending, just got left as maybe the touch or the ball wasn't played as quickly as he thought. You know, the Monarchs really have had struggles scoring goals this season. Now 13 goals on the season, but 4 of them coming in the last game. And really the best medicine for that, and really the situation, and to quote Cobra Kai again, the best offense is more offense. And that's what this team needs.
Have you been watching Cobra Kai?
It must be a passion lately. But that's what this team has continued to need. And I think coming from Hamas and Alavi as a defensive-minded coach, obviously a great center back in his time, and an MLS All-Star, he thinks defensive first, but this team has just lacked the opportunity to have a lead in games. And now that's starting, you can kind of see it so far through 38 minutes. The confidence is there. If they can find a goal, they're capable of defending. Moreno obviously is going to provide some challenges to that score line, but they're capable of defending. Can they find the goals to get themselves in position to get 3 points?
They haven't been bad so far, have the Monarchs. They're getting a lot of plays involved, and that's what they need to do is, you know, then they don't have the sort of roster or a sort of player that can really, really burn opposing defensive back lines. They need to get plays involved. Noah Powder, Andrew Brody, the 2 left back, right backs, the full backs, if you will. They're really the 2 players that you think, you know, could beat 2-3 defenders, maybe make something. Outside of that, they need to get people involved. And they've done a good job thus far of doing that, as they somewhat work their way out. That's a hard
Suggs
challenge.
with the flags up as Moreno found himself in an offside position.
Big challenge, wasn't it? Suggs on Brody.
And I think, you know, you have to take credit or give credit to a guy like Suggs. There's no bad intent there. He went in, kept himself in a position where he's not trying to extend the leg high or anything to take down the player. Get the ball, win the ball, and be efficient about it. And sometimes they look a little crazier because a guy like Brody jumps to maybe avoid some of that. Brody's going to be pushed from behind by Sandoval. He has a couple inches on Andrew Brody.
That's somewhat inexcusable for me. I feel like I'm having a crack at Devin Sandoval. I'm not. I'm not intending to, but I mean, come on. He's way bigger, way stronger than Andrew Brody. He gets out jumped in the air. That doesn't make a ton of sense.
Sometimes it's positionally, and I think that one can be attributed to a little position there by Andrew Brody using his noggin up top to make sure he was in position.
And the wind is, I know the wind is having a factor. You can just tell. The players are having a really hard time. That's a great run from Weehan.
Weehan inside the area. Weehan, heavy touch. Still there. And Moreno's going to get the touch, and the flag stays down. It'll be a goal by Moreno, I believe, as our center referee and AR are having a conversation. He signaled it a goal, and it still will count. So 1-0 New Mexico United, as we're going to see a replay look.
This will give us a good judge as to whether or not you can't quite see where Moreno is when Weehan tries to beat David Ochoa. Maybe this angle will give us a better look. But as of right now,
Moreno continues his form. 5th goal of the season for Armando Moreno.
It's such a great run from Chris Weehan to get in behind Moberg. Moberg, the big fella's been chasing down those little attackers for New Mexico all afternoon long, and it pays off for New Mexico in the end with really great ball. Yearwood, I believe, was the one that played the ball through. It was somewhat flat, and Weehan did a great job judging the bounce of the ball on the turf.
And that's one of those times, if you're Hamas and Olave, you wish the USL Championship had VAR to check out a situation like that, because it looked like at first the goal was going to stand, and then all of a sudden it wasn't for a second, and then it stood.
You have to wonder where Noah Powder was as well. You know, the Weehan run started rather wide, right where Noah Powder should have been, as he tries to get on the ball again. Moberg with the diving header.
Moberg knocks it back to David Ochoa. On the road, can't watch the match? Tune into Sirius XMFC, North America's only 24/7 source of soccer radio, featuring Ray Hudson, Tony Miola, Rodney Marsh, and Brian Dunseth. Fans of the USL can now listen to the best matches of the week, along with action from the MLS, the Premier League, the UEFA Champions League. Sirius XM FC channel 175 on your Sirius XM radio and the Sirius XM app. Brody gonna try to play in Harris. Harris and Yearwood are gonna battle, and Harris is gonna be called for the foul.
Well, you spoke about it earlier. Can the Monarchs find a way to lead this match first? The answer to that question is no. They will be playing from behind again. Now, worth noting, quickly, against Colorado Springs Switchbacks last week, they trailed after conceding the
midweek.
first goal. Sorry, midweek.
Yeah.
In the 8th minute, they conceded and then went on to score 4 unanswered. So it's not like they haven't come from behind before. It was just a handful of days ago in which they were able to execute. So
wide to Julian Vasquez. Vasquez towards Arriaga. Both those players signed on the same day as RSL homegrowns. 44th minute. We're getting late here in the first half at Zions Bank Stadium. Beautiful afternoon for some football. Vasquez finds himself in space. Vasquez picks up his head, plays a shot, and it almost went into the waiting path of Kyle Coffey, who was making a run. But a lot of space there by Julian Vasquez. And if you're Troy Lesesne, you have to wonder, why is no one closing down quickly?
Well, he'll tell the manager that he was trying to pass that ball, but I think he was actually trying to shoot it, and it just came off the instep, unfortunately, and went wide. But again, I like what Vasquez is providing up that left-hand side, and Arriaga as well, number 26 for the Monarchs. He's been very, very dangerous. They've been finding one another quite frequently, and it seems if the Monarchs are going to score, it's probably going to happen through the footwork of Arriaga and Vasquez.
Touches there by the Monarchs players. Powder's going to go forward. Powder picks up his head. Running at the defense. Jack Blake comes rushing in. He'll get the ball back. Finds Kyle Coffey. Coffey, round one. Back, trying to find Jack Blake. Sam Brown doing a good job to be in the area. Noah Powder sees Dayon Harris back stick. Plays it in, and Yearwood's going to head it away, and it'll be another corner kick coming for the Monarchs.
Well, there's certainly movement happening for the Monarchs in their attacking third, which is good to see if you're a fan of the Monarchs, because it creates very difficult defending for New Mexico United. And despite conceding a goal, it seems as though mentally the Monarchs have been able to focus on the task at hand and not get sidetracked and drop their heads.
Stoppage time is brought to you by America First Credit Union, the official credit union of the Monarchs. 2 minutes. Ball played inside. Still inside the area. Moberg just wide. And Moberg almost equalized here in the 45th. And that one might have been inches off that near post. Kind of pinging around. Mizell would have been just standing frozen as a statue.
Well, he was a very unlikely candidate to level things up, and unfortunately for Moberg, he was unable to do so. But again, the deliveries into the area, whether it's from a cross or a corner kick, are proving problematic for New Mexico. They are having an incredibly difficult time judging the ball flight and the Monarchs running towards the area. That may be something Troy Lesesne needs to address at halftime, because if the Monarchs are going to score, you just get the sense that will be the avenue in which they do so. A lot of problems defensively for New Mexico when the ball is in the air.
You have to imagine that will be a conversation. Half. Flags up on Julian Vasquez.
Behind the ball.
And if you're Mexico United, I don't think you would want the reset there. You wanted the ball to continue moving, but they'll wait, kind of kill off a little bit more of this clock to see if they can head to the halftime break with a 1-0 lead.
I'm sure they'll be happy to go in to the main interval, up a goal, of course, settle things down, address certain areas in which they believe they need to get better at. Right, look, I think the Monarchs will go into the halftime break, Landon, and be feeling pretty good about themselves. Obviously disappointed to concede that goal from Moreno and allow Chris Wehan to get in behind the back line as the halftime whistle's blown. But there's certainly promise for the Monarchs. They look dangerous. They have plenty of chances that they've been able to create, and if they can continue that trend, you just get the sense that there is surely a goal for the Monarchs in the second half.
I just think there's going to be frustration from Hamas and Olave to have given up that goal. Felt like maybe there could have been, I think there's always going to be the wonder, was the flag up? Could it have been up? It wasn't up, excuse me, but could it have been up? But I think the situation now goes, what changes do you need to make at halftime, or what conversations do you need to have for both coaches to make sure that you give yourself a chance at 3 points? As we'll take a break here at halftime, and we'll be back with first half highlights and thoughts after this. Today's halftime show is presented by America First Credit Union. If you need access to all-star financial products and services, America First is here to help. By MarketStar, explore something more At MarketStar, visit marketstar.com for careers. By Ford, America's best-selling brand. Great lease offers, big cashback, and low APR financing are waiting for you at your local Ford store. And by Les Olson and Sharp, dominate the pitch with an agile workflow. Sharp and Les Olson Company, the official office technology partners of Real Salt Lake.
We all have needs, hopes, and dreams. Things to do, places to go, and a life to live. And whatever goals you have, America First is here to help you achieve them. We're here to provide the financial tools and services you need to take care of your family, your home, or your business. We're here to help you keep moving forward. Whatever you need for what matters most, we're here to help. America First, federally insured by NCUA.
Hey, Justin, Jeanette, what's going on?
Hey, DJ, we're just trying to find out ways to keep fans in RSL gear.
And I'm contemplating how to use this F-150 fight hunger in Utah.
Oh, I got it. Have this sweet RSL neck wrap. And thanks to Ford, you can have one too. All proceeds are going to go to help the Utah Food Bank feed families in need. We're hoping to raise $50,000.
Fashion that fights hunger? Now this is a winning combination. Can I get a high five?
Really?
$18,000 can fill a pool of sweet lime jello, buy your personal doggy copter, or maybe get that sweet pair of diamond-encrusted jeans you've always needed.
Needed?
Nobody puts diamondless denim on these crocodiles.
You'll have to excuse Chuck. He's a little full of himself since we bought and sold our home using Homey.
I saved enough money using Homey to move this family thrice. That means 3 times.
You need to buy a new home, or you want to get the most out of selling your current home? Check out Homey today.
Here, in places less known, between Utah's mighty 5 national parks, there are moments that surprise you. Between generations and between friends. Somewhere between what you expected and what you never imagined. Start planning at visitutah.com.
Atlas Disposal is dedicated to preserving the spaces we share.
We also understand the importance of sustaining our resources.
We're proud to bring our operations to Utah with technologies like zero-emission vehicles and a new recycling system coming to Rio Tinto Stadium starting in 2020.
Together, we can keep Utah beautiful and sustainable for generations to come.
Johnny, I saw that.
See, kids, she does have eyes in the back of her head, but you can help her keep her eyes on the road to get you home safe and sound.
That's good advice.
Protecting those you love is your top priority, but others may not be so careful. If you've been injured in an accident, choose an attorney who will look out for you all along the way so you don't get blindsided by the insurance companies. Craig Swap and Associates, one call, that's all.
I swear to fulfill, to the best of my ability, this covenant.
Every doctor takes an oath, but not every doctor gets to practice it to its fullest.
I will apply for the benefit of the sick all measures required of me.
There's a new healthcare system built around the way you live and the way our profession has sworn it to be.
And may I long experience the joy of healing those who seek my help.
May I be a steward of the new healthcare.
$18,000 can fill a pool of sweet lime jello, buy your personal doggy copter, or maybe get that sweet pair of diamond-encrusted jeans you've always needed.
Needed?
Nobody puts diamondless denim on these crocodiles.
You'll have to excuse Chuck. He's a little full of himself since we bought and sold our home using Homey.
I saved enough money using Homey to move this family thrice. That means 3 times.
You need to buy a new home, or you want to get the most out of selling your current home? Check out Homey today.
The RSL Foundation is the philanthropic arm of Real Salt Lake. We connect players to the community, enhance elementary education, build leadership through soccer, and highlight environmentally sustainable projects in Utah. To contribute to these programs and others like it, get your RSL license plate, where $25 from each purchase goes to support RSL Foundation initiatives.
The United Soccer League and its 47th championship in League One clubs stand united in support of diversity, inclusivity, equality, and compassion. Together, we can make a difference. Together, we can create change. Together, we are united against racism.
Over to Richards. Left foot, and Brett Richards with an amazing strike. On the right foot, a curling effort. Oh, what a goal for the Battery!
Saved and cleared off the line. What a play by Tampocket.
Thought he might have been pulled back. Play continues. Shot is lined up here. Oh, it's fantastic. Sensational. Floats this to the back post. What a save. Romero denies a Roscoe. Nice recovery. Suarez eyes on Restrepo. Ooh, fires one home. FC Tulsa strikes first in the opening half hour.
For this organization.
There's a shot, and it curls near post at the death.
Back live at Zions Bank Stadium. Halftime here between the two sides. New Mexico United leading 1-0, courtesy of a Moreno goal in the 40th minute. Let's check out the USL Championship Team of the Week. And Player of the Week is Dane Kelly, having himself a go, and he has just been Mr. Dependable and Mr. Goal Scorer here in the USL Championship. Had himself a solid game, and you got a couple other familiar faces. Mahrez on the Team of the Week, having played New Mexico United. Let's check out news and notes around the USL Championship. I failed to mention Dane Kelly with the hat trick, all-time leading regular season goal scorer. But a couple things to point out here. Mark Briggs, former Monarchs coach, has Sacramento Republic FC on a 5-game win streak here in 2020. The first to register that. And then Kyle there moving to 5th all-time in regular season goals, recording his 57th goal on Friday in a 3-2 victory against Sporting Kansas City 2. Upcoming games around the USL Championship in a full slate this afternoon and into the evening. You saw one game yesterday, Phoenix Rising smashing Las Vegas Lights, but a handful of games coming up at 5 and 5:30 p.m. this evening. You can see most of those Eastern, or all those Eastern Conference games, but a lot of action in the USL Championship tonight. Let's check out highlights from the first half, Tom, and a lot of different things, and I think there's more to note than just the goal.
Well, this was the goal, and it was Yearwood playing really devilish ball over in at the back. Chris Wehan, his speed on the end of it, beat David Ochoa. Moreno was able to get on the end of all of it. Appeals for offside were unwarranted from David Ochoa. But boy, it did look close. We just never really got the camera angle to judge, and you do sometimes wish that VAR existed at the USL Championship level for reasons like this. But nonetheless, Moreno, worth noting, has been very, very impressive. Really, you know, the one player for New Mexico that you feel as though could do something, and he ended up prevailing in the end as Vasquez's left-footed shot trickles across the face of goal, just in front of the wandering feet of Kyle Coffey. And this is where, in my opinion anyway, the Monarchs be most dangerous, as Moberg's attempted shot goes just wide. But they're dangerous from the corner kicks. Anytime the ball's in the air and they get some of the big guys down into the area, they've been very, very good. And that, in my opinion, is how they are going to best score. Although I will say, it looks as though at halftime, watching some of the guys, the substitutes, warm up, Sierakowski took his orange vest off. Big shout out to the fans while we're at it for wearing your masks. We appreciate you greatly. But it seems as though Sierakowski may be making an appearance in the second half, potentially at halftime. It'll be interesting to see who he comes on for. My bet would be Kyle Coffey.
Be the like-for-like substitution there if you were to go with Kyle Coffey and don't see him on the pitch. So I'm guessing that is the correct call there, as Kyle Coffey will play 45 and then sit for the second 45. Looks like everybody else is still the exact same. New Mexico United yet to come out. But all of their substitutes look to be up still on the pitch playing, so it looks like they're going to go with their same 11. And Tom, something to note, this point in the season, Group C looks like this as of today.
Talk to me.
And not with today included. New Mexico sitting atop the group, 20 points, 11 games played, plus 4 goal differential. El Paso in second, 18 points, 10 games played, plus 3 goal differential. Monarchs, 10 points, 10 games played, -2 goal differential. Colorado, 8 points, 11 games played, and -7 goal differential. So 3 points for either of these sides is huge. 3 points for New Mexico means they put themselves out in front, give themselves a little more breathing room. Only a 2-point gap between them and El Paso right at the moment. Monarchs sitting 8 points below El Paso. 3 points tonight would be huge, putting themselves in a position where they get a chance to make a run at this playoffs. If not, things become a little more difficult. So 1 point is great, but 3 points is huge for this side if they can muster that out at this point, Tom.
Yeah, no, the standings is essentially split in two. And by the way, it looks like a double substitution potentially, Landon, as Sierakowski and Bodie Davies getting ready to join the action on the bench. They're getting their shin pads in place and ready to go. It'll be interesting to see who. Bodie Davis, by the way, I've been very impressed with Bodie Davis so far for the Monarchs.
So it's going to be Dayon Harris who will come off the pitch as well, making way for Bodie Davis. Bodie Davis having scored his first professional goal this last week in a dandy goal, and that set up by the captain and then nutmeg the keeper.
Just a young fella who's making his way, and he just looks the part, doesn't he?
Kaysville, Utah kid, my hometown, matter of fact.
What goes up in Kaysville? What happens up there? Is it a lagoon up there?
Close by.
Water park?
Big theme park in northern Utah, about 25 minutes north of Salt Lake City, about 55 minutes from here. Handful of guys with local connections. Van Vasquez, another one like we mentioned. A couple on the bench with local connections as well. So it's 2 substitutions from Hamas and Olave. 5 substitutions allowed in the USL Championship as we are underway. New Mexico going to be moving from right to left across your TV screen, or north to south here at Zions Bank Stadium. Powder to Blake. Blake has a lot of space in front of him. He'll pick up his head looking towards Brody. Brody quick wide to Davis. Davis getting his first touches of the match into Jack Blake. Out again, combination to Brody. Brody's going to play it inside the box, and Mizell calls off Galen Ryden.
You brought up the 5 substitutions. I would imagine Hamilton Olave utilizes all 5 this afternoon, as we spoke about it earlier in the first half. It was an unchanged starting 11 for the Monarchs, despite playing Wednesday evening against Colorado. So there will be some heavier legs as the game continues. And Hamilton Olave, I imagine, utilizes those 5 substitutions, as he's already done at halftime with the double change.
I do have to chuckle. Got a text from head coach Mark Briggs of Sacramento Republic. Actually, 6-game win streak.
Oh, he's listening, Briggsy.
So I'll take that correction. Thanks for the update.
We send our love,
Coach,
to Briggsy. We miss him around these parts.
Jimenez, big step there forward. He's going to take a nasty bounce there as Arriaga runs onto it, and Mizell puts that out of play. And you would have thought more would have come of it between the communication there, but took a nasty little bounce as Ryden apologizes to Mizell. Powder back to Moberg.
The turf monster can certainly do that to people.
Mondo here, Mondo here, stay. Always that joke of the sniper. Sometimes you got guys just falling on turf. Brody gets him around Moreno. Good sportsmanship there, making sure he's all right.
Just the legs got tangled. No yellow card. I don't think the intent was as much as some people may have thought, but certainly a foul. Great ball.
Kowski. Heavy touch gets away from him. Jack Blake was trying to call him off. Bodie Davis plays it forward, trying to find Arriaga, just wasn't far enough out of the area.
Up!
So the Monarchs reset here with Andrew Brody, Moreno, Davies.
Forward!
Heavy touch there. Weehan another 10 yards off.
He's good at that, Weehan, or at least this afternoon he's been good at that.
If you're a American football fan, knowing where the sticks are, right?
Yeah, exactly.
48 minutes. 1-0 New Mexico United. Sam Brown, return, opens things up to Blake.
Mondo needs you.
Monarchs' attack is built mostly through the wings throughout this game. Julian Vasquez, Sierakowski inside the area, ball towards Sierakowski. Yearwood clears. Powder, beautiful touch there to settle that one.
Higher Mondo. Come on, Dev, extend.
Monarchs certainly don't look rushed, which is good. That's a poor turnover from Jimenez.
Suggsy, knock it. Come on, Suggsy, dig.
Suggs
Keep your feet high. Go again.
almost got in behind Moberg, and Moberg's hurting a little bit. You can kind of tell just seeing it on his face, just looks maybe a little bit uncomfortable, and I'm wondering if Hamilton Olave is going to pay attention to that and quickly maybe go to that adjustment and Taylor Pay. I guess one of the benefits of having a very capable starter on the bench in Taylor Pay is substitutes will start to get warmed up at that moment. Excuse me, at this moment.
Yes. I do believe we will see Taylor Pay at some point.
Well, you can't imagine it's not coming on for a guy like Moberg or Jimenez. But he just looks a little uncomfortable to me. I have a good relationship with Moberg, and knowing he just looks to be a little grimace, and I know he's struggled throughout his career with a handful of different knocks throughout. You just have to wonder if something is maybe just lingering a little bit. Noah Powder, he's going to use his wheels, goes forward with Tenari, battling with Tenari, out wide to Sierakowski. Sierakowski and Ryden. Sierakowski shot towards goal, and Mizell, El Gato Azul, pushes that one away, and it'll be a corner kick in the first of the second half for the Monarchs.
Great run from Noah Powder. He found Sierakowski in the pink boots, and boy, that was going top shelf if it weren't for Mizell's big right palm. That's promising from Sierakowski, who came into the match at halftime for Kyle Coffey, having almost an immediate impact. We'll see how the Jack Blake corner kick unfolds.
Blake's going to swing it in. Ball to the near post, takes a deflection, hits Sandoval last, I believe, but it'll be a goal kick.
It almost looked like a handball for a split second there. Incredibly difficult to judge with it all unfolding so quickly. But boy, we get another look at it. Maybe we get a better idea as to how it unfolded. There was a flick on from maybe. I mean, I don't quite think so. And the correct decision was probably made with a goal kick. But Vasquez trying to flick the ball on. Again, they look dangerous. Corner
I was
kicks.
just about to say the same thing. It's kind of been the interesting thing to watch. And something to keep an eye on throughout the rest of the match. Yearwood with the header. Brody gets a touch. And Tenari.
Well done, Tenny. Well done.
Jack Blake sticks it in, gets Tenari on the right foot.
What's the over-under on how many Cobra Kai references you're going to bring up in this second half?
I've got 2 so far. So,
I
don't know.
2.5, maybe the over-under?
Probably too many.
I believe it is the #1 show on
trending on Netflix.
Netflix.
Yeah, you know, Russo. He is a villain,
Yes.
the real villain.
Well, there you go. That's 3. 1.5 away.
There can only be one.
That side.
We'll just get quotes in all night. I have to give a shout out to all those of you tuning in New Mexico. You know, there was a watch party I saw at the Electric Playhouse. Looked like some fun, some social distancing going on there. An exciting watch party, and I know we cannot go without having a conversation about the Curse, and the wonderful supporter group that they are, and all the fans that are a part of that. This fan support that this New Mexico side gets is very impressive. As Moberg's going to rush forward, he'll play it high and forward out of play.
Jimenez and Moberg, Landon, have been just not quite been on the same level. Their chemistry has been poor. Some heavy touches, heavy passes, as we saw there from Jimenez. I mean, that sort of pass from Jimenez to Moberg should be pretty self-explanatory. And Jimenez certainly made a meal of that. Now a Powder goes into a challenge a little too strong.
He'll get a warning. Looks like that's a final warning for him. As we're seeing the ref do a little bit of a LeBron James, not quite the knee lifting and the hands down, but the hands down.
Just settle. Would you please, Noah?
I'm just saying in general, though, man.
Young man's had a lot of success throughout his career and a fun player to watch. And one to definitely keep an eye on if you're a Real Salt Lake fan. Sam Brown, nice step there. Sam Brown, can he find Julian Vasquez? Vasquez in the air, it comes into Mizell. And I think the foul's going to be called on Mizell. As Mizell, or excuse me, on Mizell, on Julian Vasquez. And Vasquez is going to see yellow.
Well, this is interesting because when we get a replay of this, we need to take note as to whether or not Vasquez actually touched the ball before Mizell. And if he did, then I believe he didn't, so the correct call was made. But that was touch and go for a split second there. That was almost a perfectly weighted ball from Sam Brown, who did a good job picking it off.
They both kind of pulled in their legs, so it looks like they hit more to knee, and that's kind of the frustrating part.
Yeah, but you know how these goalkeepers are, Landon. They're wrapped up in cotton wool. You know, you touch them and they go down rather quickly.
We'll look at it one more time. I actually think is looking at it a second time, he may get a slight touch.
Do you think?
Before. This angle will give us our best look. Nope. Nope.
I just don't know if a yellow card's necessary there for me personally, but it's obviously up to the head referee's discretion. Goalkeepers are like kickers. Yes, they certainly wrapped up in cotton wool. The second you touch them, they go down like a bag of potatoes. And Mizell, well, he's still down.
You have to hope he's okay. They're testing out what looks to be the left knee. So we hope things all right with him. The playoff pushes on. Join us Wednesday, September 16th, right here at Zions Bank Stadium for a USL clash with Portland. Tickets are limited, so call 844-REAL-TIX or visit realmonarchs.com now. RSL also returns to the riot on Saturday, September 19th to face Vancouver Whitecaps for Firefighter Appreciation Night presented by Ford. Get your tickets now on rsl.com. So you're getting another look at him. 56th minute, Mizell. And that looks to be one of those situations where they're testing out the ligaments in the knee, stretching things out. And it looks like I just saw confirmation to the bench.
He'll be okay.
That he's going to be okay.
You also saw a shot earlier, a minute or two ago there, but Hammerson Olave having some rather vocal discussion with fourth referee, fourth official, Jordan Downs. So he agitated probably with the yellow card, I'd imagine. Both, you know, look, I think Vasquez had every right to challenge for the football, and last minute he realized, last second rather, he realized he probably wasn't going to get there, pulled his legs in, and they just happened to clash knees, and Mizell, to his own defense, has the right to also come off his line and attack the football. And
well, I think you said it right. I think keepers get the benefit of a doubt in a situation like that. You have two field players coming together in a situation like that where they both pull in their legs and come knee to knee. I think there's a foul maybe called. There's definitely not a card shown. And I think the thought process there by our center referee is probably the attacking player is in the wrong coming in on a keeper, and it looks to be that was called that way.
yeah. Couple yellow cards shown.
3 yellow cards so far. Tenari in the 29th. Kind of a silly yellow card for him. Jimenez the 22nd and Vasquez the 54th.
Come on, guys. Come on.
Eisel with the restart.
Come on, Kate. Come on, Kate.
On top of the 18 as he's up and looking all right. We'll have to keep an eye on kicks as he grimaces after that kick. So you're going to have to watch and wonder how things will go for him the rest of the way. Tenari does a good job to keep possession. Weehan, nice little giveaway. Back to Nijem. And Moreno found himself behind James Moberg.
The Monarchs started doing this as the first half unfolded, but their back line trying to catch, and it's one of the reasons we've seen Chris Weehan be offside by significant margin, that they're actually playing the offside trap and trying to prohibit the speed of the attacking players for New Mexico. As
Suggs inside the area, Moberg's going to cut it off and clear it away.
Hold on, guys. Hold on.
Throw in there, looking for Sandoval, cut off by the captain.
Forward.
Sierakowski. Arriaga. Suggs will get it. Picks up his head, sees Moreno streaking wide. Moreno, defended by Jimenez. Chop there, goes to grounds. Definitely wasn't any contact. Sierakowski did a good job to read that one nicely. Sierakowski running with Ryden. Bodie Davis, can he find him? Elects to not play it to Bodie Davis. Back to Jack Blake. Out wide. Inside the box, takes a deflection. Guzman had his hand up, then the ball arrived to him.
You have to wonder why Davis was not played there. There was a very good run. Sierakowski found the football down the right-hand flank, and it was actually a 2-on-1 with Davis running towards the near post and Arriaga towards the back post. And I felt as though it certainly looked that the ball to Davis was there and probably in the end needed to be played.
I think it was just the angle that was there, maybe not as clean as Sierakowski would have liked.
Must have been it.
The only match right now going on around the USL Championship. Like we mentioned, a lot of different matches this evening. Some important ones this weekend, including the El Paso game against San Antonio FC tonight at 7:30 p.m. One that New Mexico fans will definitely be keeping an eye on. El Paso, excuse me, going up against San Antonio, who's undefeated here on the season. Suggs. Davis going to be tripped up by Sandoval. I hate to question this, but you have to wonder why that's not a yellow in a situation like that.
I didn't want to say it because I felt as though I was going after Devin Sandoval in the first half, but I certainly agree with you. That
knowing exactly what you're doing.
Seemed very clumsy.
And that's one of those ones where intent matters, right?
Right. Well, the energy from Sierakowski is certainly evident. It's been on full display through the first 15-odd minutes here in the second half. He is chasing down the football and finding himself in open spaces, which has been a promising sign for Hamilton Alave and the Monarchs.
Come on!
Possession 57-43 for the Monarchs. But the only number that really matters is the goal for Moreno. Shots 9-8 for the Monarchs, 5 on target.
That's
on
bad
the opposite
giveaway
side for New Mexico. Moreno on top of the air. Moreno picks his area, or his line, excuse me, just doesn't hit it cleanly, as that would have been a beautiful opportunity for him to double the lead.
David Ochoa got away with one here. He went with the left peg. It's his non-preferred, and an easy turnover given away to Weehan. Moreno on his preferred right foot just didn't quite hit it clean enough, and a simple save in the end for Ochoa. That's a foul, you'd imagine, from Yearwood, and it is. This is a dangerous area for somebody like Jack Blake or even Noah Powder to whip a ball in, get the big boys down back, involved in the attack. In fact, this is around the same area that Chris Weehan put in that devilish delivery the last time these two teams met, and the first goal was scored in that match. I do forget who scored it.
Mondo, you with the runner.
Powder with him. Line on top of the 18, two-man wall. Jack Blake sends it into the area, right into Sam Brown. And Sam Brown tried to redirect it, and it looked like it came a little quicker than he thought. He heads it out, and it'll be a goal kick for New Mexico United.
It was bending the wrong way for Sam Brown, but again, another open header for the Monarchs from a set-piece delivery. And if Sam Brown had timed his run just a hair better and went a little later than he did, then he could have gotten, you know, a right foot into that and tried to glance it into the back of the onion bag. But again, another open chance from a set piece for the Monarchs. They look incredibly dangerous from free kicks and corner kicks.
Mizell still seems to be grimacing a little bit every time he kicks those big balls forward. Looking back. Tadith looking forward. Trying to find Sandoval's going to take a big hop. Brody rises high. And Yearwood. Not sure why that one took so long. Yearwood's going to be called for the foul, as we'll get a replay look. Looks like he maybe swept the leg a little bit there. Cobra Kai reference, huh?
Yeah. And the betting odds are happy. No yellow card for me. Studs weren't showing, but he did, Yearwood, get there a tad too late for my liking. Oh, there you go, and the clip of the ankle.
It does not feel good when you're up in the air and exposed like that. Jack Blake frustrated. He's going to get up slowly. Quickly taken. Monarchs go quickly to Vasquez. Vasquez has 3 around him, gets it wide to Bodie Davis. Bodie Davis tries to push it in. Yearwood cuts it off. Moreno will go forward.
Moreno's on.
Moreno is on. Flag looked like it should have gone up, but it does not. And Moreno scores number 2, and New Mexico United goes up 2-0 here at Zions Bank Stadium.
Well, that's touch and go, and hopefully we get a good camera angle at whether or not Moreno was onside. But they're trying to play the offside trap, as I mentioned earlier. There's no wide angle, unfortunately. I mean,
he's 8 yards in front, though.
Looks
a little suspicious.
Suspicious, yes, I will say. But we do not have the same angle that the sideline referee does, and so we will assume Moreno was onside. David Ochoa came off his line, as any good goalkeeper should, but Moreno was able to dance around him a tad too easily to just tap the second goal in. And all of a sudden, New Mexico are up 2-0. You get the sense that the Monarchs have done everything in their power to try and stay in this one. They've almost looked the more dangerous team, but as good teams generally do, they make the most of their opportunities, and New Mexico have done just that.
I don't think this team's the type that's going to fold like a cheap suit. So don't give up on the Monarchs yet is one of the things that I think they have that mentality. And really, when you have a 2-goal lead, 1 goal, you always talk about it, makes the difference in a sequence of confidence and the situation. But you know Troy Lesane right now making substitutions here momentarily to try to shore things up and make sure that doesn't go the opposite way.
Well, you have to wonder now what Hammerson Alave, his counterpart, is also going to do. You've got somebody like Ricardo Avila as we take a look at the foul. Again, just another, swipe of the leg, as they say. You know, you've brought on 2 attacking players at halftime, and you're down to 3 substitutions left. I think Ricardo Avila is somebody they may look towards. Zach Farnsworth can offer a tad, although he typically plays across the back line, so you have to wonder, he probably may not see. Taylor Pay, I think, needs to come on because he's a threat in the air, and that's when the Monarchs look the most dangerous. But they're certainly in a spot of bother, the Monarchs, down 2 goals. And despite having some chances for the home team, the chances that they have been able to create haven't been all that dangerous. Mazel hasn't had to come up with many big saves throughout the course of this match. So that needs to change if the Monarchs hope to prevail with at least 1 point. Tanari on a yellow card will come off.
Tanari and Najem out. Muhammad and Bruce coming on for New Mexico United. Don't miss a minute of the action in 2020. Sign up today and get alerts all year long by following your club on ESPN.com. Search for the Monarchs or New Mexico United, and then click the follow button to keep up with the latest news, scores. Plus, get reminders on the Monarchs and New Mexico's next match. Go to ESPN.com now and click follow for your club. Kalen Ryden.
And this will likely be the biggest issue that the Monarchs will have, as Wehan yet again finds his way in behind the back line. When they have the football, the Monarchs they're gonna need to make the most of it, because New Mexico are going to do everything they can to slow the game down, kick it back towards their back 4, and be in no rush to move the ball forward, which will aggravate, and frustrate the Monarchs as this match goes on.
Gotta get a chuckle at New Mexico United's Twitter account. What's a VAR? Gotta love that in response to a tweet out there.
Well, that's both goals. You could argue, you know, should maybe have been gone to VAR if it was available.
Props to the social team there. Always gotta appreciate some comic relief.
Yes, it's just a game.
Just a game that we all love. Jack Blake, he'll size things up and not on frame, but man, he lines that one up. And I don't think Mizell is doing much to stop that one.
Well, he got plenty behind it, didn't he? But
just didn't have the angle right.
No, it was never threatening the entire way. Just came off the inside of his foot. He was trying to sting it with his laces and put some outside curve and dip onto it, and was unable to get the connection.
Laces out. You know, the other funny thing, now I'm watching the Curse get in on the fun, and their Twitter accounts using Mariah Carey, it looks like, and saying, I don't know her. What's a VAR? So having a little fun on social today, squad. When you have a 2-goal lead, you're afforded that opportunity.
Yes, you are.
Sierakowski will chase things down. Flags up on Sierakowski. And it'll be a free kick for New Mexico United. Next game up for New Mexico is against the Switchbacks on the 19th, 3:30 p.m. I know there's like 1,000 tickets available for that game for New Mexico fans, so kind of a fun opportunity to watch some live soccer, and we hope that's taken advantage of.
In a safe manner.
And, of course, as Moberg and Wehan come together, smack hands After that one, 71st minute, 2-0 New Mexico United. What to do if you're Hamas and Alave to change this game? Both teams having made 2 substitutions so far. Monarchs made them at half. Mexico United not too long ago. Arriaga forward to Sierakowski. Big ball there, but not hit completely. It's a battle there between Muhammad and Arriaga. Muhammad, or excuse me, Tatith.
Connected, Suggs. Get connected. Get connected.
As our center referee is going to come over to our 4th official.
I've got a funny feeling Hamilton Alave is going to get a speaking to.
Or someone on the bench going to get tossed. Yellow card shown to Monarchs goalkeeper coach.
Some abuse from the sideline.
Always have to chuckle when that happens. It seems, you know, almost like a waste of time to go over to a bench and show a yellow card to an assistant coach.
Right.
Head coach is one thing, but I guess thick skin sometimes isn't a thing.
No.
Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality innovation. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com.
Go get Suggs. Come on. Come on.
Quickly taken Sierakowski
No foul. No
with
foul.
the chest.
No
Does
foul.
a good job to
Get
shield
back,
off
Mondo. Come on.
Guzman.
Go, Brucey. Help him, Mondo.
Same coach
Help him.
got. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, we've seen a precedent sense in that. I forgot about it. One of my partners
That's excellent, guys.
last season, David Horst, sent off in his first game as an assistant coach from the bench. He had actually played early in the year, had a nasty injury, then came on to be an assistant coach, and was shown the locker room during the game.
He's up in Portland now, isn't he?
Yeah.
David Horst.
Coaching for a youth academy up there. David Estrada will come on. Chris Weehan will come off. Alinvi will come on as well. And Moreno, our goal scorer, 2 goals, and what will likely put him on the USL Championship Team of the Week, is going to come in or leave the match. 4 substitutions so far by New Mexico United.
Come on. Get into him, Suggs. Get into him, Salih.
Estrada scoring a goal last week as well on Saturday. Of note, the assist was
Get in.
from Moreno, and I think we talked about that goal a little bit already.
Forward again. Come on. Forward.
Guzman, 75th minute.
Dries, take off, Dries. Yeah.
Ryden, nice ball on point there. Jack Blake comes rushing back. Monarchs will take possession. Out wide to Davis. Davis, Yearwood, plays it into Yearwood, and he'll take a deflection right towards our awesome camera crew.
Good, David.
Shout
Good
out to
spot,
them for giving us
Estrada.
that field side look.
Now we go up. Come on, Dries, up. There you go. Up. Yeah,
Jimenez.
Good,
Over to Moberg. Quickly to Noah Powder. Noah Powder. Try to get him maybe a little fancy there. If Sandoval could have seen eyes on the side of his head, Alimbi was in a good position to receive the ball. As the Monarchs are kind of having to stretch themselves a little bit.
Step to the ball.
This is a phrase I use often. Maybe risk it for the biscuit a little
Step
bit.
to the ball. Good.
That's cheeky from Davis.
Devin,
Blake.
excellent, Dev.
In towards Sam
Go
Brown.
to the ball again. Hey, up.
Monarchs will
up,
recycle.
Up. Good, David. Good. Yes, Suxy, come on. Next one.
Davis trying to flick it in
Come on, Dev. Come on,
towards
Dev.
Sierakowski.
He's bouncing.
Jimenez. Heavy, or light header, excuse me, not a heavy header. But able to recover. Brody. Sierakowski, or excuse me, Davis. Not quite on the same page. There's a turf monster.
Come on!
There you go.
Ball inside the box towards Julian Vasquez. Cleared away. It'll be a throw-in coming for the Monarchs. As we're going to see hydration break here in the 77th. As Jack Blake clapping his hands. He knows this game is still not done and dusted.
Sure.
And I think that's the challenge when you get in a situation like that, keeping your teammates up at that level. As we'll check out some highlights from second half action.
Well, Blake has certainly upped his tempo and his energy. This was an opportunity early in the second half. Moberg doing a good job tracking back. Sierakowski came on, rocketed a left foot shot. Mazel was able to clear. Nicely done, but Sierakowski having some sort of impact, which is always good to see from anybody who comes off the bench. And then, boy, Vasquez was oh so close to being fed in behind and had a one-on-one opportunity with Mazel. They clashed knees. Vasquez was subsequently shown yellow. Moreno, again, would have loved to have that one back. He's better than what that shot showed. And then this was the goal. We all thought he was offside. The flag stayed down. David Ochoa came off his line. Moreno danced around him. And a very, very easy way to score your brace and put your team up. 2 goals, the better. That's where we find ourselves now.
I still would love to get a look, because he is, we're talking a good 8 yards.
Well, Moberg may have kept him onside, and that must have been what the sideline official must have seen.
When you're getting a look at that, it just makes it look like there's enough of a gap. And I know a lot can happen as that camera angle expands, but just a little bit particular to me. But hey,
you have every right.
One of the things of the game. Can't take away from the effort to score the goal, because he still had to get around Ochoa. Ball towards the touchline, and it's going to be a corner kick. I think it was out by the time it hit back onto Arriaga, but it'll be a goal kick coming from Mizell. As Farnsworth is going to come on the pitch for the Monarchs, and you have to imagine it's one of the defenders coming off. It looks like Moberg's already making his way. Oh, excuse me, Julian Vasquez.
Same thing here, Sully. Get into him, Dave. Get
So we're
into
going
him.
to
Be ready to run, Dave. Be ready
Farnsworth coming on. He'll go into the back as Monarchs are going to take off Julian Vasquez.
Come on, get into him. Get into him. Come on.
And this is a situation where the Monarchs will probably make an adjustment to move
Big challenge. Big challenge.
Noah Powder
Big challenge.
up
Let's
into
go.
more
Let's
of a
go.
winger position.
Next. Come on, Dave. Come on, Dave. Let it bounce and go. Let it bounce and go, Dave. Come on.
Jimenez, good job to use his body there.
Come again, Dave. Good. Done, Brucey. Home.
Jimenez all the time in the world as
Inside, Drew.
Sandoval
Inside
had
with
tracked
Blake. Inside with
forward.
Blake. Let's go.
Sierakowski defended by Bruce.
Get connected.
Into Sam Brown.
Yeah.
Sam Brown.
Hey.
Battle.
Romeo, let's do it.
Both teams
You know how you know.
made a fair share of substitutions so far.
Pressure on the ball. Get
As expected, New Mexico playing incredibly deep in their own half, you know, almost wanting the Monarchs to have the possession and dare them forward. Up 2 goals. We just entered the 80th minute mark, so you'd imagine there wouldn't be a ton of added time, although Mazel did stay down for a period in the second half, but no more than 4 minutes would be my guess.
Free kick for the Monarchs. They're going to send a lot of numbers forward. Andrew Brody really the only one back. Jack Blake kind of sitting in front of him. Noah Powder will swing the ball in. Can't beat the first. So we're going to see a substitution coming here momentarily for Devin Sandoval, it looks to be. So Noah Powder pushes off its leg, and here comes the substitution as we'll see Romeo Parks, the Jamaican. Having spent some time playing for the Jamaican national team from 2012 to 2015, made 4 appearances and scored 1 goal. Had some opportunities here at Zions Bank Stadium last time he played here. Just couldn't find the back of the net. Fans, you can follow the Monarchs and the rest of the USL Championship all season long on ESPN Plus, home to the USL, MLS, UFC, and more. Join the nearly 8 million sports fans who have already discovered ESPN Plus and watch the championship live every week. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com.
Well, I hope Devon Sandoval didn't get word of my remarks regarding his blue shoes. It seems as though
put him under, Dries. Put him under. Put him under.
He was trotting off. He was in the black boots for the second half. Made a change at halftime.
You have to wonder if it was maybe just a preference. Studs.
You'd imagine, yes. You'd have to think.
Great, man. Come again.
And sometimes that's a fact when you're playing on turf or in a wet game. I know they wet this field down before the game and at halftime, so not a whole ton you can really change in a situation, but maybe there was a slight change. Sierakowski on top of the area. Sierakowski's shot is wide of frame.
Excellent,
but a nice turn there from him.
Buddy Davis unhappy the ball wasn't played out wide. Sierakowski, however, look, he has a right. He's playing as the striker. He's required to make something happen in that area. It was never a threatening shot on goal, and I guess that's kind of been the way the Monarchs have gone about their business this afternoon. They've had opportunities, they just haven't been able to capitalize, and a lot of the shots that have been towards Mizel's frame have really not troubled him a ton. On the other side of things, Moreno and New Mexico United have certainly made the most of the opportunities that they've had, hence why they find themselves late in this one, up 2 goals.
Come on. Suggsy back in, Suggs. Don't jog. Don't jog.
Davis in the corner. And off Arriaga. Arriaga frustrated. And seems to just be this part of the second half, the frustration starting to build for these Monarchs guys, having been so successful in the last 2 games here at Zions Bank Stadium. The good part is a quick turnaround and an opportunity to play on Wednesday night against the Timbers 2 in a side that only has 1 win on the season, just having come off a win against Tacoma Defiance.
It's very reminiscent of the last time these 2 teams met, when New Mexico found themselves up late in the game, and as the game continued, they frustrated the Monarchs by being in no rush to take goal kicks. They didn't feel the need to try and attack a ton, and that's kind of the nature of the beast here this afternoon as well, with New Mexico being up 2 goals. The Monarchs doing everything they can to try and put some strain and stress on Mizel, but they're just having a hard time doing so.
Bodie Davis does a good job there to get it around Yearwood, but Ryden cleans things up. Wide to Suggs. Suggs looked to try to get to Romeo Parks. Monarchs were there. Cut off the angle. Chris Bermudez, former League One player, is going to enter the match for Luis Arriaga once the board rises. Maybe before the board rises. 86th minute of play.
Let's go. Go get Dries. Go get Dries.
Jack Blake opens it up to Farnsworth. Put over his head. Farnsworth will track it down. Looking forward, not the best decision there from Farnsworth. Opportunity coming. Jimenez does a good job to clean it up. Farnsworth in a position like that, you have to wonder, collect the ball, play it back to the keeper. Elects to go forward, not able to get enough on it.
If you're going to try and play it forward, it has to be in the air, and you have to be able to get past the first New Mexico player, which he was unable to do, and hence the the attacking opportunity unfolding for New Mexico. Just a silly giveaway. Trying to make something happen, which is understandable considering the time and the scoreboard, but, you know, what's worse than 2-0 is 3-0.
You're definitely correct on that one. Corner kick coming. Ball's going to be swung in with the left foot. Jack Blake defended it nicely.
Get home! Hey, get home! One! Let's go, let's go!
A player down on the backside. Looked like Brody. One of those, the knock of the head. Two heads coming together.
Andrew Brody's one of those players when he stays down, generally, you know, something isn't quite right, and a knock of the head will do that to you. Nothing worse. Not sure if there's blood, but it seems like the nose, potential nosebleed for Andrew Brody.
Looks like he's getting checked. And they're going to wave towards the trainer. Probably go through the concussion protocol in a situation like this.
Take another look at it here. Oh, I think it was a flying arm or elbow that connected. Because Brody is nowhere really near the action.
Tough to see. You hope he's all right. Monarchs with one substitution remaining. So a chance to take him off if they need to. But you hope he's all right. Just doesn't seem to be moving a whole ton. Both head athletic trainer and team doc checking things out.
Taylor Pay's going to make his way to the sideline and potentially come on for Andrew Brody. It would.
When you end up checking out a player this long, typically you err on the side of caution.
He is up. He does have a rather red nose, Rudolph. Red-nosed reindeer.
A little too early in the season, Tom.
Sorry, it's getting there.
It's not even Halloween yet.
I know. I was up in North Logan last night checking out some high school football. I wouldn't recommend it, but I was up there nonetheless. And it was chilly. It was very mild once that sun set.
Kind of interesting. Temperatures have dropped quite dramatically here in Utah. So we had a wild windstorm earlier in the week. Dropped temperatures into the mid-40s and winds of 110 miles an hour. Hurricane force winds.
Causing some havoc.
Yeah. You still don't have internet.
I still do not have internet.
I don't think Brian Dunseth, RSL's...
He doesn't have power, does he?
He doesn't have power. So I got a few issues around.
Now you go, good.
Around the area.
Yes, David.
Also Lake preparing to host Colorado Rapids this evening. That should be a fun game for the Monarchs fans. To big day of football here in the state of Utah, which is always good.
You can definitely hope, if you're an RSL fan, the result's a little different than this result.
Certainly.
Just about hit the 90th here on the clock. Suggs trying to add to the lead. Suggs goes down easily. That would have been a tough, hard-done PK. But as we had talked about in the pregame, our center referee calls a PK about 40% of the time.
My eyes immediately went to the referee. There's nothing there. In fact, that could be a yellow card to Suggs if he's not careful. Yeah. And there was a slight hesitation for a split second. I thought he was going to call it, and I couldn't believe my eyes. But correct decision made. That's all that matters.
Come again, Salih, come on.
Good leave there by the captain, Jack Blake. Bermudez.
Smart here, smart.
Get the full touch.
David, get away.
Fresh legs. Got to be doing a little work in here. She ran almost in a triangle there.
Yep. He's in the washing machine.
Stoppage time is announced. Stoppage time is brought to you by America First Credit Union, the official credit union of the Monarchs. 8 minutes of stoppage time announced. Andrew Brody was down for a good chunk of time.
8 minutes? That's about as long as I can remember. Mazel did stay down for a significant amount of time. And then, of course, just recently,
Brody's back on the pitch.
It's good to see. Rudolph is Is his new nickname for the remainder of this one.
I think he'll want to shed that one pretty quickly. You know, oftentimes we've used the Energizer Bunny. One of those guys that just does not stop. Moberg cuts off the pass to Sam Brown. Brown has space in front of him. He'll pick up his head and realize he has space. Brown's going to be taken down by Guzman, and Guzman's going to see yellow.
That's what we call a professional foul around the soccer world. Guzman had seen enough of the ball at Sam Brown's feet and decided he would, instead of going for the ball, just take the player down, which is why the yellow card was shown. All right, if the Monarchs are going to come back into this game, this free kick.
Quickly taken, back post. Suggs heads it away. It's going to be a throw-in for the Monarchs. They'll leave it, and Moberg will take it. Another long throw-in.
Hey, big throw!
James Moberg, maybe not.
Up, 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 up!
Look to go quickly.
Come on, Dries!
Brody.
Come on, Dries, more!
Bermudez.
Back home, Dries!
In towards
Hey!
Davis.
Get fucking home!
Davis is going to try to get across in the area, headed away by Kalen Ryden. Counterattack on from New Mexico. Estrada has Bruce wide of him. And All Envy is by himself. Romeo Parks. The flag stayed down as the Monarchs were able to recover. Two guys in the same area, and that really was the issue. If they weren't standing next to each other, might have materialized into something more.
Well, the Monarchs were lucky there. Linvey was open for a significant amount of time, and if the ball carrier had lifted his head, he would have seen him and potentially fed him into goal.
Davis is going to rush forward. Up comes Kalen Ryden. Wasn't paying enough attention to know that had someone with him. Ball's going to be slipped through. Davis looked like if he would have continued his run, he'd have been in a better position. It's going to go forward. Davis frustrated. No one's up with him, applying pressure. It could be attributed to some tired legs on the pitch. And maybe this is where Hamas and Olave is getting burned a little bit, having guys that played on Wednesday nights.
It was always going to be a difficult task for the Monarchs, playing midweek, keeping the lineup unchanged, going up against the #1 team in the standings, and asking for a result. Look, I feel as though the Monarchs have been pretty good. They've had chances that they've created, but as I've said on repeat now, they really haven't peppered Mazel's goal, and despite at times looking threatening, they've had nothing that's really transpired from those creative opportunities. Credit New Mexico on the other hand, though. Look, they've been pretty good. They've just made the most of their opportunities, and that's what good teams do at this level. Is they will pounce when their time and number is called. Moreno in particular was very impressive in the minutes that he was able to play.
If you want to talk about controversy or not, he finished his chances,
right,
and that's all that matters.
He's essentially the difference maker. A little bit of class up front, and that was all that she wrote here this afternoon. With Monarchs
unofficially through 5 almost.
Good, Salee. Good, Salee. Yeah,
Sam Brown. Zach Farnsworth looked a little frazzled here in the last few. You can chalk that up to some youth. Some youthfulness, I guess is the better way to put it.
Yeah. The Monarchs look best when they're getting their teammates involved, where Jack Blake's controlling the midfield and feeding the likes of Andrew Brody and Noah Powder into space. And from there, you can ask your best players to be creative. And in the first half, it looked as though the Monarchs were doing a good job at that. But as the second half has unfolded, they've quite quietened down, and those attacking opportunities just have gone by the wayside as the game has trickled on, which would, I imagine, frustrate Hamas and Olave when he turns on the tape and watches the game back, if he decides to do that at all.
Foul called. You know, there's a picture popping around. You know, there's a picture popping around Twitter right now of what a lot of people are calling the goal, or the offside call, or non-offside call.
Does it give a good angle?
Moreno. And the picture that's shown, and the one that I've seen a couple times, looks to be before he kicked the ball. So I don't know that you can use that as conclusive evidence.
It was
If we had a judge here, I don't think they'd be able to say it was conclusive, to use a term for in the footballing world.
If he was kept onside, Moberg was the one to do it, which is what that photo on Twitter suggests.
But nonetheless, all that matters, and really, I'll say it a million times over, is that AR did not lift his flag, and Moreno finished the chance.
Correct.
So we can debate all we want on Twitter, and I think that's one of the challenges of the world we live in today. It's easy to say. Davis trying to get around Yearwood. Flag will go up. It'll be a throw-in for the Monarchs.
And again, worth noting, going back to that second Moreno goal, the back line for the Monarchs have been trying to play the offside trap, and so that does make things a lot more difficult and challenging. The turf monster, is that the second time Livy has been eaten by the turf monster?
I think so. He stepped on the ball the first time, and the turf definitely got him on that one. Noah Powder trying to get around Bruce.
Go, Brucey! Good, keep going, Rome!
Keeps the ball at his foot, plays it wide to Jack Blake. Blake and Bruce battling. Takes a deflection, and it's going to be kept in. Jack Blake's going to be called for the foul as he swiped at the legs of Bruce there. Gives him a handshake nonetheless.
Well, it's not all doom and gloom for the Monarchs, as they will likely suffer a defeat with just seconds remaining. This could well be the final kick of the game.
Our center referee still hasn't checked his watch. Lifts his hand, blows the whistle. And that's all she wrote here at Zions Bank Stadium. 90-plus minutes of soccer played. 2-0 New Mexico United as they get the best of the Monarchs for the third straight time this season here at Zions Bank Stadium. And for the third straight time scoring 2 goals here at Zions Bank Stadium. Moreno with the brace. Did a good job to get the victory. Controversial decisions may be lacking or not called from a lot of guys in the wonder, but nonetheless, 3 points and the victory for New Mexico United. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back next with post-game thoughts.
We all have needs, hopes, and dreams. Things to do, places to go, and a life to live. And whatever goals you have, America First is here to help you achieve them. We're here to provide the financial tools and services you need to take care of your family, your home, or your business. We're here to help you keep moving forward. Whatever you need for what matters most, we're here to help. America First, federally insured by NCUA.
Here, in places less known, between Utah's mighty 5 national parks, there are moments that surprise you. Between generations and between friends. Somewhere between what you expected and what you never imagined. Start planning at visitutah.com.
Atlas Disposal is dedicated to preserving the spaces we share.
We also understand the importance of sustaining our resources.
We're proud to bring our operations to Utah with technologies like zero-emission vehicles and a new recycling system coming to Rio Tinto Stadium starting in 2020.
Together, we can keep Utah beautiful and sustainable for generations to come.
Hey Justin, Jeanette, what's going on?
Hey DJ, we're just trying to find out ways to keep fans in RSL gear.
And I'm contemplating how to use this F-150 to fight hunger in Utah.
Oh, I got it. Have this sweet RSL neck wrap. And thanks to Ford, you can have one too. All proceeds are going to go to help the Utah Food Bank feed families in need. We're hoping to raise $50,000.
Fashion that fights hunger? Now this is a winning combination. Can I get a high five?
Really?
We all have needs, hopes, and dreams. Things to do, places to go, and a life to live. And whatever goals you have, America First is here to help you achieve them. We're here to provide the financial tools and services you need to take care of your family, your home, or your business. We're here to help you keep moving forward. Whatever you need, for what matters most, we're here to help. America First, federally insured by NCUA.
Hey Justin, Jeanette, what's going on?
Hey DJ, we're just trying to find out ways to keep fans in RSL gear.
And I'm contemplating how to use this F-150 to fight hunger in Utah.
Oh, I got it. Have this sweet RSL neck wrap. And thanks to Ford, you can have one too. All proceeds are going to go to help the Utah Food Bank feed families in need. We're hoping to raise $50,000.
Fashion that fights hunger? Now this is a winning combination. Can I get a high five?
Really?
Nice day for a ride.
Hey, you're Craig Swap.
You know, not everyone sees you when you're on two wheels. So stay alert and always keep your eyes on the path ahead.
That's good advice.
See you at the top.
Nice shorts.
You can't always predict what might sneak up and catch you by surprise. If you've been hurt by the carelessness of others, choose the law firm that will go the distance to get you the settlement you deserve. Craig Swap and Associates, one call, that's all.
The RSL Foundation is the philanthropic arm of Real Salt Lake. We connect players to the community, enhance elementary education, build leadership through soccer, and highlight environmentally sustainable projects in Utah. To contribute to these programs and others like it, get your RSL license plate, where $25 from each purchase goes to support RSL Foundation initiatives.
We're back live here at Zions Bank Stadium. Monarchs fall 2-0 to New Mexico United, as New Mexico United was the dominant force in this game. Armando Moreno with 2 goals. Tonight's post-game show is brought to you by Ford. All the power, all the tech, all the peace of mind is behind the wheel of Ford. All-wheel drive SUVs, made to take on any road condition, priced to sell only at your local Ford. Ford, go further. The playoff pushes on. Join us September 16th, Wednesday night, right here at Zions Bank Stadium for a clash with the Timbers 2. Tickets are limited, so call 844-REAL6 or visit realmonarchs.com. Tune in to KMYU later tonight as RSL faces Rocky Mountain rivals, the Colorado Rapids, presented by LifeVantage, with the pregame starting at 7 p.m. And again, Saturday night, September 19th at 7:30 p.m. to catch RSL against the Vancouver Whitecaps for Firefighter Appreciation Night, presented by Ford. Tom, let's check out the upcoming schedule for the Monarchs. As you can see, Portland here at Zions Bank Stadium, then at El Paso, at Colorado Springs, back home here against New Mexico United, and then home with El Paso to finish the season. So it's not done and dusted yet. The guys that are in front of you are on your schedule. You just have to take 3 points pretty much the rest of the way at this point. And that's a tough task.
It's certainly a tough task considering how the season's gone so far. Some quick final thoughts from the Zebra this afternoon. I felt as though it was a reasonably sloppy game, to say the least. The control of the football was hard to find, but the class of New Mexico was all that mattered. The class in the attacking third, to be clear, with Moreno in particular. Even Chris Wehan, I thought, was pretty problematic for the Monarchs. He had a big part to play in that first goal that Moreno was able to get on the end of. And for the Monarchs, they need to play a more team brand of football, and anytime they find themselves not passing as frequently as James and Olave, I'm sure, would like them to, they just find themselves not really penetrating the back line of any defense. And they certainly lack the class they had last year. There's no doubt about it. And they're still trying to find a way to recover from the loss of the likes of Douglas Martinez and company. So a lot of work for James and Olave. New Mexico yet to play a game at home, sit atop the group, and that is a very, very, very impressive feat, to say the least. They're a good team.
Thanks for tuning in tonight from our wonderful team here, our camera crew, our production team behind us. Tom Hackett, I'm Landon Southwick. We'll catch you Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. here on ESPN Plus for the Monarchs and the Timbers too. Today's game is brought to you by Ford, America's best-selling brand. Great lease offers, big cash back, and low APR financing are waiting for you at your local Ford store. By MarketStar. Explore something more at MarketStar. Visit marketstar.com for careers. By Steward Healthcare, the official healthcare provider of Rail Monarchs. Visit stewardutah.org.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.